In this retreat, I intend to go very deep into realization of me, which will be also a preparation for the physical retreat in Greece. But before we go to the main subject, we need to create the foundation. Because I need to consider also your limitations. Without having that foundation, unfortunately, all that talk about me and surrender to me is futile. So we start, as we recently do, with surrender to the body. Letting go into your body. What is letting go into the body? It's the emanating intelligence of me. And when you are able to embody your body, including all the centers and your heart, your body is also experienced as me. So it's not only an emanating intelligence, me enters there directly. And I would like to start with addressing the correct breathing. Breathing has to be deep, but soft, quiet, and slow. If you remember, I've been emphasizing recently the caved-in belly breathing, which completes the exhalation and inhalation. So try to implement that. Breathing always through the nose. With exhalation, surrender of the body accompanies your exhalation. And without that surrender, you cannot be one with exhalation, and you cannot make it perfect. People have been exercising different breathing techniques since a long time, but most of them are artificial. They are not in accord with your body needs. It reminds me when Gurdjieff visited a Sufi master and showed him his yoga breathing, yoga type breathing, that master told him to stop doing such foolishness because you will damage, he said to Gurdjieff, your delicate, in our language, physiological balance in the body. So we are intending to improve our breathing, but in a natural way, not by enforcing on our breath some artificial techniques, mind-made techniques. What is the purpose of breathing physiologically speaking. A question for you is, why do you need to gasp for air when you lack air? You feel you are suffocating, you need to inhale. Why? Contrary to what people think, usually, it's not about oxygen, because you have actually quite much reserves of oxygen in the body. So if it was only about oxygen, we would breathe less frequently. The reason you gasp for air is actually to release carbon dioxide. If you did not have carbon dioxide in your body, in your blood, you would not think about inhalation. Even though inhalation is about bringing oxygen into your body, not releasing carbon dioxide, you inhale for the sake of the following exhalation, so that excess of carbon dioxide can be released. Now, carbon dioxide is extremely important physiologically for many, many functions. It maintains acidity of blood, correct. It allows absorption of oxygen. And there are many, many more functions which I don't exactly remember, but it's very important. It's important also as a calming effect, for its calming effect. It is calming us on a cellular level. It is calming our autonomous nervous system. This is why when people get anxious, nervous, and they hyperventilate, one of the recommendations is to breathe to a paper bag. When you breathe to a paper bag, you increase the CO2 in your body. Then person becomes calm. So you see many emotions, emotional experiences in your body are not related to your psychology, but they are related to your breathing, to the lack of CO2. If I remember correctly, around according to one measuring system, there should be between 35 to 45 what is called milliliter by mercury level of CO2 in the blood. When you fall below it, you are stressing your system, physically and emotionally. So having enough CO2 in the blood is physically healing and emotionally healing. You can heal many of your emotions by correct breathing through CO2. People tend to think that there's this duality, similar to religious duality, that oxygen is good, carbon dioxide is evil. But it's not true at all. Carbon dioxide is good. When you think about this global warming, that it's people complain that there is more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it's actually good for us. It increases our metabolism. Naturally, we get it from the air. Similarly, drinking sparkling water can increase your CO2, or living in the mountains. That's why in the mountains, high mountains, people usually live longer, because there's less oxygen in the air and more carbon dioxide. Anyway, let's come to the breathing. Letting go with exhalation. And where exhalation ends is your solar plexus. And then you gently push your solar plexus, pushing like falling into it. There's a little bit pushing through falling. And make sure that your exhalation is truly complete. Belly breathing, as we done in the past, was not true complete breathing because there was no true complete exhalation. I have discovered it recently. And it's an interesting story. Leon knows it. That I was for 3 months doing extreme dry fasting, no food, no water. And I got very skinny, lost my fat and my muscles. And I become energetically weaker because I have a tendency to exaggerate, and I exaggerated with those fasts. And we were going in Greece for long walks, and I noticed that suddenly my chest is hurting because I just lack oxygen, and I was breathing through the engaging more chest to get this oxygen. It was really unpleasant. And then I came up somehow, some kind of a revelation happened. I came up with that idea of caved in belly breathing. And suddenly, even though I was still weak, I could walk in those mountains without struggling for breath. If you breathe correctly, and you do, let's say, mountain climbing or running or any cardiovascular exercise, you will see that your breathing improves naturally. You don't need to struggle to get enough air. Just, I believe around it increases, and I'm speaking about those who breathe correctly already, or relatively correctly, by maybe 25% your capacity. Because the thing is, when you exhale completely, it allows you to inhale completely. So there's more air, oxygen coming into your lungs. You have more reserve of it. And when you exhale completely, you also exhale the excess of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, as important as it is, should be kept in norm, should not be excessive. So caved in belly breathing. Following with exhalation, you should feel like your belly is caving actually. I mentioned before that it is similar to what they call vacuum breathing in yoga. Arnold Schwarzenegger was practicing it. It's not the same because first it is more artificial because you are pushing your belly physically. Second, it is happening in the lower portion of the body, of the belly, around the proximity of your belly button. So it is different. But sometimes, practicing vacuum breathing, which is good for you, can help you also to master the caved in belly breathing, which is solar plexus exhalation, solar plexus caved in breathing. So initially you have to work with it because you need to retrain your muscle memory and your breathing memory. But gradually, in fact very fast, it will become natural. You don't need to think about it. So how do you know that your exhalation is complete? Because there's no air left. So the way to check it, that after your exhalation, you push your body a little bit, your solar plexus in. See, not too forcefully, but a little bit, you push it, and you check, is there still air coming out from your nose, from your lungs, or not? If it's not coming out, your exhalation was complete. Very healing, very, very beneficial breathing for your body, spiritually, and it allows you to regulate naturally the CO2 level in your body, in your blood, naturally. So try to master this breathing, because I know that some students are practicing a bit and then they totally forget about it, thinking it is unimportant, but it is very important. Breathing is, that breath is a carrier also of the vital energy, very important to regulate your energetic system, and it all connects as well to your spiritual consciousness, to your spiritual self, which awakens within the body, within that energy system. If it's all a mess, how can you awaken anything? Breathe. Now, with exhalation, very important, you are falling. You are not, you are not, how to say, you are not doing the exhalation. You are falling with exhalation. Because when you are doing breathing, you are controlling your breath, and it's artificial, and it's stressful, and unnatural. Here you are correcting your breath through surrender to your body and through surrender to your breath. Exhalation. You surrender to your exhalation. You surrender to your body. And you also, with falling into your solar plexus, you can activate the main center of the solar plexus, the emotional center, the center of power, the center of emotions, the emotions that are connected to the sympathetic nervous system, like anger, fear, anxiety. It is also a center of emotional willpower, and a power, and a center of energetic power in the body. So by breathing there, entering your solar plexus, merging with your emotional center in the solar plexus, you allow energetic and emotional transformation. Because that emotional center, pore center, solar plexus, which is, by the way, not on the surface of your solar plexus, but deep inside. That's why you need to do this caved in belly or solar plexus exhalation to get there. That pore center is giving us nothing but troubles, and that center itself, which is part of us, lives in constant stress. That center itself is terrified of the emotions that it manifests. That's why it needs to be made conscious and needs to be pacified. So as you're surrendering there, becoming one with it, you need to bring also energy of softness, relaxation, loving energy, accommodating energy, so that that center relaxes and it becomes conscious. The goal here, among others, is to feel emotional center as me, in the same way as you feel your emotions as me. You are not experiencing emotions that are happening to your me as if from outside, from your body. Those emotions are me. When you feel fear, it is me feeling fear. But now you want to go to the center. Because emotions are me, but emotional center is the main center of that me that manifests through the emotions. Everything is me, but me is experiencing itself stronger through different centers. And above all, the main center of me is in consciousness. In the body, the centers of me, the main centers are solar plexus and the heart. And less stronger, sacral center, the lower belly. But the body as a whole has to become as well the center of me. I'm in India, so there are constant power cuts. So the light comes in and goes away. Correct breathing. That is, I would say, the main emphasis of this talk. Correct breathing. Help your body, nurture your body through breath, while simultaneously spiritually surrendering into your body. When you have disturbing emotions, your breathing changes, becomes shorter, more rapid, irregular. This is because breathing is regulated by the nervous system in your solar plexus. It activates the fight and flight response, mobilizing you to action. But you see, the way our body is designed, it's not always perfect. Because by changing that breathing, we become also more vulnerable. You hear stories about an animal that, when a deer sees a lion or tiger, it sometimes freezes out of fear. Of course, this freezing is not helping its survival. It's supposed to run. But that is the imperfect emotional design, or not design because no one designed it, but how we have developed emotionally. If you are able, in the situation of fear, of external threat, still maintain the correct breathing, then that correct breathing will allow your solar plexus and your sympathetic nervous system to mobilize into more effective action. Our body developed, our nervous system developed unconsciously, and now we are consciously helping it to change. We are entering a very interesting era of evolution for the first time, conscious evolution. It's not easy because our body is so unconscious and carries so many unconscious habits collectively, genetically, and personally, but it's also beautiful to be able to change, to help our body, to work with our body. Our body sustains us, our body created our consciousness. But now we need to give something back, conscious evolution, and we need to work not against the body, but with the body.